An extension of the cool-down process is post-match and post-training recovery. It is well understood that recovery forms an integral part of the whole training process. High-volume training with insufficient recovery leads to excessive fatigue and increased risk of injury. Whilst recovery is frequently interpreted as a passive process, numerous strategies have been developed in an attempt to accelerate it. These procedures should be started immediately at the end of a match or training session. Without them, it is unlikely that players will be able to maintain high levels of performance throughout a long rugby season. Here is Associate Professor Mike Lambert, a specialist on overtraining and the monitoring of recovery in rugby players, to explain some practical tips.
Recovery can be defined in many ways, but from a practical and rugby perspective, recovery should be defined as the point at which the player is able to train without constraints of excessively sore muscles or an increased risk of injury. Cold water immersion, contrast showers, massage, stretching, compression garments, active recovery techniques such as pool sessions, nutritional interventions, and power naps are just some of the techniques used in recovery in rugby. The current research evidence indicates varied responses in the effectiveness of these techniques in promoting recovery. It is, however, very difficult to measure recovery in a laboratory, and some of the metabolic markers might lack the necessary precision to show meaningful changes. Then where does this leave the coach or practitioner who wants to have an evidence-based approach in managing his or her players? Notwithstanding the research evidence, it would be foolish to conclude that recovery strategies do not have an effect, as many of them have stood the test of time. Having reviewed the literature, the research ultimately suggests that something is better than nothing, and the protocol that one adopts should be custom-made based on individual circumstances and what equipment and facilities are available for use.
For more information and practical guidelines on strategies for physical preparation and recovery, have a look on the BokSmart website at www.boksmart.com.